Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Triple J podcast. Another beautiful day here in sunny Colorado, except it is cloudy and almost going to rain. Regardless, it won't rain on our parade today. It's going to be a great show, and I'm glad you are here. This is Nick Jeldricks. I'm the founder of Triple J. If you don't know me or what Triple J is, it's very simple in terms of what we do here. Triple J is a platform that pursues to educate digital marketers, entrepreneurs, executives, and other business professionals with the best content on the planet that helps you expand and grow your business and brand. And whether it's for your business or for your own personal enjoyment, my goal is to provide you with industry-first deliverables that analyze market trends and assist your strategies for building your marketing principles. Our podcast, the Triple J Podcast, has what's called shows within the show. Today's show, you're in for a treat. It is our first PTI, or Peruse the Internet. And this segment is where I dig up the latest and greatest marketing strategies and review why you should or should not implement these strategies and practices into your business. Other times I have what's called a Q&A segment, where, as you probably guessed, it is where you provide the questions and I give you the answers. If you have a question and you want to send it in, there are a few different ways in which you can do that. The first way is to simply message me on LinkedIn at Nick Jeldricks, or you can email your questions to me at triplejstudios with two S's at gmail.com. We also have what's called Real Talk. Real Talk is typically a 5 to 20 minute episode where I give you my advice on various topics ranging from marketing to personal development, to discipline, and even my favorite, hot takes. And finally, we have a typical run-of-the-mill guest format where I invite a guest to share their thoughts on the show. This is currently in the works as of today, and I'm excited to share that project with you very, very soon. Before we begin this amazing Peruse the Internet, PTI, so I want to call it, I do have one quick favor that I want to ask of you, and that is the fee. And no, it is not me looking for money, okay? It is not that. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for you to follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn or subscribe to my newsletter, which you can do all of those, but I'm not going to ask you to, okay? The one thing that I do ask is that if you find this show valuable, if you take something away from it, if the show makes you think, if the show makes you laugh, if the show inspires you in some way, or perhaps you think the show is valuable to someone you know, the only thing that I ask is that you share the show. That's it. It's that simple. And this is basically just a kind gesture of a way of saying thank you, and helps me to know and create more content that you enjoy. So please share the show if you find it valuable. And in turn, if you don't find it valuable, then you don't have to. But of course, all this content that I'm creating, I want to provide the best value at the lowest possible cost, which, by the way, is completely free. I don't know if whispering was the best way to do it, but needless to say, we're going to try it out. Anyways, let's get into the show. Let's have a good day, shall we? We have a very similar format to a Q&A, except we are going to be what you think we are doing, perusing the internet, looking for marketing strategies and campaigns that I think are interesting, that I want to share with you and give my thoughts on it. So today we have a couple of different headlines that I want to kind of go over, and then we're going to go through bit by bit on each one. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. First headline reads, New York City fashion boutique Aime Leon Dore has turned hype beasts into golfers. Wow, I can't even speak. Into golfers after it debuts its first ever golf collection. Products include golf polos, gloves, hats, and more, designed to elevate golfers' style while remaining functional to optimize performance and comfort. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Aime Leon Dore, or ALD. It is basically a fashion or high-end boutique based out of New York City, and they have done collaborations in past with a bunch of other different brands, prominently known for its collaboration with New Balance on the New Balance 550. They made that pair soar up in price. And this was very popular regarding the years of 2020 and 2021 within that range. This sneaker had a chokehold in the sneaker industry. Since then has died down quite a bit, and you can find most pairs for, I believe, under $200, which is pretty crazy since at the time they were going and fetching for prices up to $600, $700, even $800, which is pretty wild. But now they have been breaking the internet with its new golf collection. And I want to review it with you and its marketing campaign and also showcase its products and why I think it's a good or not so good campaign. So let's take a look at this. I want to share my screen with you. Hopefully I can share the right screen in that matter. Okay, let's see what I can do here. All right. So you guys maybe can see this. I think it's being funny with me. Hold on. Sometimes, I'll tell you this, man, as I'm figuring this out, sometimes with my screen, it acts all funky, and I don't know why. But here's one thing you want to know. If you are on, sorry, this is being funky with me. Can we do this? I want to see if I can do this right here. All right. Can I resume it? All right, I'm just going to go for it. Screw it. I'm going to say why not. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. I guess we'll find out when it comes to the Zoom rendering of this video. Sorry for those of you on audio, but just wanted to share this with you. So let's take a look here. At this campaign, and right away you get this guy golfing or cleaning his clubs, which as a fellow golfer myself, I can relate in this aspect. You know, one of the things you got to do before any golf match or any time you're going out with your buddies is you got to make sure the clubs are clean. Because here's the thing, if your clubs aren't clean, it's going to hinder your performance. And you might think I'm crazy for saying that, but here's the deal. It really does make a difference. So I just want to see and take a look at this video here, if it'll let me play it. And hopefully it has the audio included. If not, we can make it happen perhaps. Cleaning his clubs. Alrighty, that is the end of the ad. So before I forget, there's a lot of things to unpack here within just this simple video here. If you're listening to this on audio, I encourage you to take a look at the video form. It's going to really help you kind of understand and give context to what I'm talking about. So obviously, this video showcases the collection and some of its products. Surprise, surprise. Of course it's going to. But what's really cool about this particular ad is that it also resembles and pays homage to a very similar looking picture to what it looked like when Michael Jordan was cleaning his golf clubs. Take a look. So this is what the website looks right now for ALD. And this is a tweet that was founded with Michael Jordan cleaning his clubs. You see any resemblance? I think so. I think there's a little bit of resemblance. Obviously, if you know Michael Jordan, at least to any extent, you probably know outside of basketball, he was a huge golfer. Okay, he loved it. He played with a bunch of his teammates. He played with his coaches. He played with anyone that he could because he loved the game and he loved competition. So it's no surprise when Jordan was cleaning his clubs in his iconic picture here with the pattern and print that ALD wanted to pay homage to that by creating their own version of it. And in turn have not only built a video from that, but also showcased their collection in a unique set of photos as well. So you can see here it has more of a full body image here on your left, features the ALD golfing or golfer logo. I guess you can call it that. It's not its typical run-of-the-mill logo, but it's more of a unique design for this particular collection. To even stuff on the right here, you can take a look at it in more detail, and it goes through that for a couple different fashion poses and different outfits. And I will say it's really well done. Even the photos with the cigar is pretty cool too. But ultimately, the goal in any product collection, not just with ALD, is to showcase the products in the collection, one. Two, what it's like to actually wear the products. Okay, how is it going to look? And then 3, something that's not really discussed much about is how do you feel when you wear these products? Okay, at least in these photos, it's calm, cool, and collected. Okay, that's what you want on the golf course, especially when you got a bunch of buddies around you. They're all poking fun at you, cracking jokes. Okay, but is it going to help me shave a couple strokes off of my game? Hopefully. I'm not going to lie to you. Don't know if it will. If I spend money on ALD, I wish it would too. Don't get me wrong. But after all of these different photos here, you actually get to the collection, which is a rather extensive collection. I mean, just taking a look here on the webpage, you're getting at least what looks like a couple dozen different products. Like I said, it ranges from polos to shorts to hats to gloves to different bags, vests. All of this is really well done. And the great thing about this collection here within a lot of ALD's products is it continues its brand with not only its brand image, but brand colors as well. So in my past episode, we talked about Kith's marketing strategy with Tag Ower and how it resembled some of its marketing schemes into its color palette, right? ALD is doing the exact same thing here. ALD is known for its neutral, toned, kind of muted down colors, like its cream, its evergreen, its navy, burgundy in some cases, and they display it within their products, okay? And you can see here, it's clearly shown, okay? Most of the collection here is within the evergreen, black, navy, and tan colors, with the exception of this bright red polo. But if you want to take a look at the actual prices of this, let's take a look at this tab here. You're actually able to buy a lot of this stuff here on ALD's website. The only downside is that while it looks cool, it is going to cost you quite a lot of money. I mean, I'm looking here at this long sleeve polo that's going to run you $300. Now, I love ALD as much as the next guy. I think ALD is a great brand. I love its products. I've had the ALD 550s. But paying $300 for a long sleeve polo just seems a little much for me. I'm not going to lie to you, man. $300 goes a long way. And I wouldn't put it towards a polo on my first go around per se. The one thing that I was interested in when I first saw the collection were its hats. A lot of the products that ALD has are generally on the more expensive side, but the one piece that I thought would be a little less would be the different golf hats they had. Even those, it says they're sold out here, but even those on release day went for $80. Again, there's a lot of ways in which you could spend $80. Buying a golf hat is not the first way that I would personally do it. But again, as you said before, you will see a lot of this collection sold out. I mean, not only both hats did, you can take a look. The polo sold out, the pullover sold out, different quarter zips, the different golf hats, kind of like the beret style, golf gloves. Most of the collection sold out. And it's no surprise, even the traveler kit bag goes for $450. Here's the deal. If I'm in the Masters, I'll get this bag. If I'm not in the Masters, I'm not going to get this bag. It's just pretty pricey to me. And here's my overall take on ALD. Okay. Is their product great? Yes, their product quality is phenomenal. It's fantastic. Okay, I think most people would agree with that their quality is really good. When you get an ALD product, the quality is going to last. It's going to stay. It's not going to fade. It's not going to wither over a couple of times wearing it. You're going to get your uses out of it. The downside is you're going to be paying a lot for it up front. And paying $450 for a bag or $300 for a long sleeve polo is just out of range for most people. However, ALD knows that its target market is not most people. Okay, most of its audience is within the middle to upper class that has the expendable income that they can use towards this. Okay, unfortunately, most people don't fit into that category. But one thing I want to cover is that most of this kind of falls into the 80-20 type of mantra or marketing principle. And if you don't know what the 80-20 principle is, it's very simple. So let's say, for example, a business makes $1 million a year in revenue. Okay, great. That's a great starting point. Okay. Whether it's a retailer or whatever it may be, 80% of its entire revenue, so of the $1 million, $800,000 of their revenue is coming from 20% of its customers, Okay. And this also works the opposite way. The 20% or the $200,000 of their revenue is coming from the other 80% of clients. Okay. So ALD is really marketing to its 80%, which just so happens to be within the upper class, particularly within the US and Euro regions, ideally. Okay, and people probably purchase this stuff in Asia, but I'm not entirely sure if it's as big as it is in companies, or not companies, but countries and regions like the Americas and European and the EU. It's just how it is. So that's kind of my take on it. I think it's a great campaign. I think the products are high quality. I love this. The only downside is I can't really afford most of this, at least not at the time in my life right now. Do I have an appreciation for it? You bet. But that appreciation is going to have to be from afar, to be honest with you. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And, I think it's okay to kind of be in this state because, yeah, a lot of campaigns and a lot of products just aren't for me, and that's totally fine. A lot of shoes that I see on the internet or on Nike or wherever they're being sold out or marketed to, there's a lot that I don't buy. Sure, I review a bunch of sneakers and review their campaigns, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm buying them all. So it's important to have that additional perspective when it comes to their campaigns. All right, that was PTI part 1. Let's get into the second headline, the second story, and we will continue our journey and our rodeo. Looking outside, you know that I'm from Colorado. Most of the times it's sunny and warm. Now it is kind of windy and rainy, which doesn't really happen. So not really relevant to you, but I figured that I'd share it. Alrighty, let's get into headline number 2. Headline number 2 reads, Nike and NBA rookie Victor Wembanyama, or known as Wemby, have finally unveiled Wemby's signature sneaker after months of anticipation. This comes after debuting Wembanyama's signature logo during the iconic solar eclipse this past April. His logo was shown in the ad across Nike's social platforms, and it showcased the new logo mowed in the middle of a cornfield for an added effect. His signature sneaker releases May 15 at a retail price of $170. And of course, I'm going to give you my take on this as well. So let's take a look and see what the Nike ad was about. I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to get right into this here real quick. Alrighty, so this is this the wrong screen? Maybe this is. I'm telling you, man, technology sometimes just really finicky with me. And it's kind of annoying, but that's okay. All right, let's see here. All right, this is the screen that I for sure want to see. So as you can see here, this is Wemby's signature shoe for $170. We were going to go through that very shortly, but before I do that, I want to showcase the ad that we're talking about here. So this is from Bleacher Report, and this is the logo teased during the 2024 solar eclipse. If you don't know Victor Wembanyama, just a little bit about his background. He's an NBA rookie that plays for the Spurs in San Antonio for the NBA. He played in France originally and was the number 1 pick overall in this past year's draft. Wembanyama is regarded as one of the best defenders in the league and is considered to be soon as the face of the NBA as the older generations pass the torch down to the youngers. So Wemby's part of an elite class, and because of that, he has his own signature sneaker with Nike as a rookie. Okay, I don't know history of NBA players that well, but I remember, I think the only other rookie to have a signature deal in the rookie year was LeBron. I think. I don't know if there's another player. There might be. Don't quote me on that. There might be. But I do think Wemby he's definitely in a select group for sure. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this ad that's on via X. See, it'll play. Hopefully audio's in on this too. This is cool. So you can see here, obviously the alien logo etched into a field. Nike logos. Intense music. And what's cool about that, his logo is in the shape of a basketball. How creative is that? Really cool. That gets your attention, especially during such a monumental moment in history with the solar eclipse. It doesn't happen often, so when it does, you want to make the most of it. And Nike certainly did that. I think it was a genius move on them to incorporate this. But let's take a look at the shoe itself and just overall my thoughts on it. So I want to see if I can get a bigger picture. Can I get a bigger picture than this? I can zoom in. How about that? Let's zoom in a little bit. All right, so this is Victor Wembanyama's signature sneaker here, the Wemby 1. I guess I can call it that if you want to call it that. Very simple, nothing too crazy, kind of the paranormal alien type of vibe with it, okay? Actually, this reminds me of another sneaker. It is the Paranormal Foamposites. Came out way back in the day. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. Super cool. It reminds me of that. Let's take a look at other details within the shoe. I believe that says every day on the bottom of it. I'm trying to read what it says. Honestly, I'm reading it upside down, so I can't really tell. So if it is something different, let me know. But it has a cool kind of outsole, kind of bubbled pattern on the bottom with the herringbone within each of the bubbles. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the other side of the sneaker here, the alien logo on the inside, kind of that jewel-themed Nike logo there on the tongue of the sneaker. I believe that's exposed foam as well. Okay, alien logo on the back. It's going to be Wemby's trademark for sure. Speckled laces, I do think that's a cool idea. I just hope there's other laces included. Having an all black pair would be nice just in case if no one wants to rock the speckles. Okay, there you see kind of that galaxy themed-esque profile within the back of the shoe. It also glows in the dark, which is, I feel like, a must-have detail on an alien themed sneaker here for the outsole. Okay, here's a better look. Okay, so one of the shoes for sure says every day. I'm trying to see, be unique every day. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Okay. So this is a really cool shoe. I think this is a great signature shoe right off the bat. So what's my take on this campaign? Look, man, I'm all for new signature shoes. I think this is great. I love the theme. I love that Nike had it out during the solar eclipse. I think that was a phenomenal idea. And whoever thought of that, kudos to you. That's a great marketing tactic, and you should get a raise, to be honest with you. Here's the one thing, though. Especially with first year signature shoes, the big thing that's going to come down to when it comes to people wanting more is people acquiring the shoe and then wearing the shoe, okay? LeBron can charge $200 for his shoes because he's had literally 21 models of sneakers. So he can afford to do that, okay? When it's your first one, I would think charging $170 is a little much. If this was $130 or $120, I think this would be one of the go-to sneakers for the upcoming fall for middle school, high school, and college basketball players. I think year round. Okay, I think Victor Wembanyama and Giannis sneakers, even though they're both considered big men in the league, a lot of their shoes are still being worn by smaller players and guards. Okay, and I think this fits into that category. The only downside is, are people going to want to spend $170 on a new signature shoe, or would they rather go with a more prominent sneaker line like per se Kobe's or LeBron's or KD's or something else? Okay, those are just to name a few. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge when it comes to the sales side. Now, do I think this particular sneaker will sell out? Depending on the stock numbers on this, I'm leaning towards yes, simply because it had a great campaign. It's the first of its kind. They're not mass producing these yet simply because it's the off season, so they don't really need to. So I think since this is the OG colorway, I think this one will sell out. The problem with other ones is now you got to top this one right here, which I'm interested to see how Nike's going to do that, whether they go with a solid color blocking or they're going to keep in theme with the Galaxy ones. I don't know. So overall, my take is I think this is a phenomenal marketing campaign, a great sneaker, but just overpriced. I think if you really want the maximum effort out of this, going within the 120 to 140 range is probably going to be your best bet. Until Wembanyama is an established athlete with Nike, I think then he can reasonably charge $170, $180, if not more, if he wants to. But I think right out of the gate is a very strong take. But Wembanyama has also proven himself. So I guess in that sense, it shouldn't be considered as big of a surprise. So that was a great headline. Thank you whoever shared that with me. I do want to keep going on and have you guys submit other headlines that you see. So similar to the questions in the Q&A, if you see any headline that you want me to cover, all you got to do is just message me on my LinkedIn at Nick Gelderks, or what you can do is email them to me at triplejstudios with 2 S's at gmail.com. Okay, triplej1j studios with 2 S's at gmail.com. And you can send them in. All right, let's get into our final headline for the day. Let's do it. All right, need a sip of water real quick before we get into it because I'm fired up. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. All right, let's get into our third and final headline. It's a short one, but it's a good one. It reads, Nocta has done it again with its latest Hot Step 2 in its all-white colorway. Unfortunately, despite many loving this new and preferred colorway, most are straying away from this sneaker and moving towards Nocta's newest collaboration with L'Arte Automobile. What are your takes on this? Man, that's a great question. So one quick thing I want to do here before I get into this is look up the different versions of the sneaker here, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. I'm going to look this up on StockX. If you don't know what StockX is, it's a great place where you can buy, sell sneakers that are brand new. It's super easy. If you're wondering, I don't use StockX. I use GOAT, but I still think it's a great platform. All right, so before I showcase what the new collaboration looks like, I want to show you what the first one was when it came to the Hot Step 2. So if you're not familiar with the Hot Step 2, the white colorway was the second one that released, with the first one being an all orange colorway. Okay, you can see it just right here. It is vibrant, it is loud, it is bright, it is crazy. Okay, here's the deal. I know what you're thinking, Nick, there's no way you like these. And truth is, I wouldn't wear these sneakers, but I do appreciate them. I do appreciate them. I think they look sick. Personally, it's not something that I would wear, and I know it's not my lane, so in a sense, I would not buy them, but they're cool. So as you can see here, it is in full-on hot orange colorway with chrome hits, minimal Nike detailing, very simple, and it's going for a little bit of money too. I think depending on the size that you want. I'm a size 11, and it goes for around $220, so not too much over retail. You're probably paying around $250 after fees, so a little bit of resale, not too crazy. So this was the first one. The second one, the newest one, is an all white colorway. See, this one here looks a lot better. And my thing with the orange one was, man, like this looks really cool, but if they had an all white colorway, I'd be sold. We have that all white colorway right here. Now here's a question. Did I buy them? I didn't buy them, but I do appreciate them a lot more than the orange ones. And they look really cool. Now, here's the thing. The Hot Step 2s, they don't have a bunch of marketing behind them because Nocta doesn't need a whole ton of marketing. And if you're not aware or familiar with Nocta in of itself, Nocta is a brand that was founded by a collaboration between Drake, the rapper, and Nike. Okay, so they collabed and have made this kind of entity within Nike called Nocta. And within that entity, they have created the Hot Step 2 and a bunch of other colorways as well. So this is Nike's official website for Nocta, okay? And as a website as itself, it's not that great. It's pretty ineffective. It's not as convenient to use as per se Nike in of itself, but it's okay. It definitely gets the point across being like the icy white type of deal. It looks cool, but you think you'd click here, it just takes you to the same page. You actually have to go up here and kind of this faded white area where you can't really see and look for the stock. And here you can find other collaborations as well on the Air Force Ones, the Nocta Glides, the original Hot Step ones here, and a bunch of other stuff. So people are leaving the white sneaker. They're leaving, see if we can get to it. They're leaving this sneaker here for its apparel collection with the art. Okay. So this collection released a couple weeks ago, and man, it had some heavy hitters. So as you can see here, this is not one of the heavy hitters. I like this sneaker. It's not my favorite. It's cool. Not even a sneaker. What am I talking about? This is a piece of clothing. If you're on video, you'll be able to know what I'm talking about. If you're on audio, go take a look at the video. It's going to help you out tremendously. And you're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second. So this jacket's okay. It's not great by any means. But this jacket down here, after the tech pants, this racing jacket, man, let me tell you. Honestly, I've been around Nike sneakers app since 2018, 2019. So 5 years now, which is crazy. This right here, I must say, I think this is the best apparel piece that I have ever seen from Nike. It's a racing jacket. Yeah, I know. It retail for $300. Yeah, I know. But this thing is incredible. I mean, my goodness. I'm a sucker for blue. I'm a blue guy. I like blue. So different things of blue, different shades, gets my attention. This immediately gets my attention. And the fact that it's a racing jacket, which is more of a unique piece, this is a stellar piece, especially the back. The back of this is incredible. The branding is great. It's enough, but not too much. And for a racing jacket, you kind of want a lot of branding. And I think they did a great job here. If you're not familiar with the YouTuber JD Kicks, his YouTube channel featured this jacket right here. So if you're curious about it, go take a look on YouTube. And I believe his handle is JD Kicks 6. Go take a look at it. It was a phenomenal video. This jacket's crazy. And it also featured a couple other things. So why did people leave the Hot Step 2? It's clear to see why. Not only did this marketing campaign just shoot through the roof with pieces like this racing jacket, they also had other more subtle pieces like a typical hoodie. It had, other basic t-shirts for $45 that were less than $300 that people could buy. So yeah, it's a lot for a t-shirt per se, depending on who you are. And not everyone wants to pay $300. So if you wanted something that was less expensive, but still within that same kind of collection, what better way to do it? And I just think this is such a good looking collection. I was shocked that I did not buy anything here. But it's all about discipline, man. It's all about discipline with your money, what you buy. For those wondering, is this jacket selling for much over its original sticker price? And that it is. Not super crazy, but it's still going for stuff depending on the size. So for me, I'm between a medium and a large. So it's going between $360 to $400 right now. So give or take around 15 to 25% increase in margin that you're getting. Obviously, with the larger sizes or the smaller sizes going for more. So like your extra small or your double XL, those are going to go for typically a lot more than the more available sizes. Man, it's just a good looking collection. So generally, you can understand why people are leaving the Hot Step 2s. And if you're curious about where the Hot Step 2s are at, the white ones at least, it's the same deal with the originals. They're both around the $220, $230. You're looking at about $250, $260 after fees. So not a crazy resale price, but there's something there. There's a reason why people leave. So I want to end with this here real quick, just because I know that was the final headline. But I want to end with this. Having a polarizing piece is great. And even if it's a subtle piece, you got to have a story. What's your story that you're sharing with people? What is your story that you are sharing with the world on what you want them to know? And whether it is about a product, whether it is about a service, or whether it is about you, you are having and sharing a story with everyone about your brand, okay? For Nike, its brand was exclusive, particularly with the Nocta, okay? And having this racing jacket was loud, it was vibrant, it was out there, but it gets people's attention and it begs the question for what else is there? They want to know more, okay? The people that win, the people that have a big following, the people that have a quote unquote influence, the people that have responsibility, authority, there's always some aspect of them to where people are begging the question and wanting more. They want to know more about them. What makes them them? Okay? That's what it's about. And if you're able to do that successfully within your business or personal brand, the sooner you're going to be able to build a following, the sooner you're going to be able to reach more clients at a faster rate, at a more effective rate, build better relationships, and in general, build a more fortified business. All right, guys, that was the first PTI Peruse the Internet episode. Okay, if you found this valuable, you found this interesting, make sure you share the show and pay the fee. Until then, I will see you in the next episode. Take care.